Hi, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the 50s Chicks. Uh, I'm Anna Lee,
And I am Patricia.
and today we are going to talk about self care
Here.
because doing this online dating or old,
Oh,
like it
LD.
is
Oh,
called now, I guess. Um, it's tough. It's the streets are mean, like we've always said.
I mean,
Um, and you're gonna, I mean, regardless of who you are, I'm gonna say that the chances are you're gonna meet up with some people that are gonna be tough to, I don't want to say get over, but because,
oh yeah, to manage, yeah.
but situations and people that took a toll on you, right?
Yeah. And just the rigors of the act of going through the platforms and
Yes.
going through and checking and liking and
Makes it feel like a job, really,
yes,
because I know when I was doing it, I was like every single moment that I had free,
yeah,
my phone would be here. I'd be like, mm-mm, and I'd be swiping, 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 swiping.
yeah.
So yeah, it's a big deal. It's a lot.
Yes, and it's much different than or what do you call it? Organic meeting, you
Hmm.
know, because you have all these, as Annalie tends to say, this plethora of people that you
Yes.
sift through, which you do. There is a lot to sift through, and you're sifting through, and you're
Hmm.
clicking, and then you're waiting for responses. You're responding to people and then they don't respond back, and you're
Hmm.
dealing with that for some of us on a daily basis,
Yeah.
and that's a lot of more negativity than you would normally have,
Hmm.
on a any if you weren't doing that,
Well,
so
it's so true. And like back in the day when you met people organically, like you like to say, um, when you meet somebody, you would know that you like them because you're meeting in person
right,
immediately, and yeah, you
same
like them. But
thing. Yeah,
in this day and age, when you're online dating, you're meeting randoms online that you then meet in person, and then that might be a whole
yes, it's a process. It is a
other thing.
process, and it takes a lot of time out of your day, out of your week, out of your month. And
Hmm.
it's not always, you know, good experiences. The majority are disappointments, I
Hmm.
would say. And
Hmm.
you have to be able to manage that along with all the other stuff in your life that you have to manage. That's just something added. So,
Hmm.
it's just best to have some kind of plan in place so that you can manage all those negative emotions so
Hmm.
that it doesn't cause you to go into a depressive state or to
Yes.
then have, the anger and frustration that goes along with it. And because
Hmm.
we don't want any women having to go through anything like that, you know,
Yes.
we want it to be as less pain painful as possible. There's going to be some pain, but the less the better, and as
I
long as you
think one of the biggest things, and I think you brought this up first, is that when you're doing the online dating, it's extremely important to cut to the chase as
yeah,
soon as possible
yeah,
so that you don't put in all months and months or weeks and weeks of time talking to somebody just to meet them for 5 minutes and
right.
realizing that this is not the one.
And then that's a
So
pressure.
I think that's one of the biggest
That
things
is.
for,
That
especially
is.
for you new beginners out there who are just getting on this online dating things.
Yes.
Yes, just really don't drag it out. There's scammers out there. There's catfish, all this stuff. So you do not want to waste your time.
Yes, and there's things that we can do to minimize those things. Like Annalie was saying, don't drag it out. Don't make the build up to a disappointment so
Mhm,
big. It's
mhm,
okay to walk out of it when you see
mhm,
the signs, because the flags, we laugh and joke about red flags. Those signs are there.
mhm,
And no one knows 100%. But if the probability is higher that it is a problem, then
mhm.
walk away.
Yeah.
Walk away from it, because you just want to minimize those opportunities for you to have those disappointments and frustrations. Because
Mhm,
stacking those up is not going to do anything good for you. And we don't want any woman to be going through all of that. And
mhm,
that's our goal, is, to have this journey, if you want to call it that, or this process, to be as, less stress as possible.
mhm,
Um, and it's okay, it's okay to do self-care.
mhm,
And I know there's some of us that feel that they don't have the time to do self-care for anything. But self-care could just be a moment, taking a few minutes longer in the shower, you
mhm,
know, just standing there in the water. That's self-care. Lighting
mhm.
candles,
Yes.
and the aromatherapy, little
Mhm,
small things that don't take any extra time. If you
mhm,
feel that you don't have it to take. And I know there are people that are busy doing this and doing that. And I know
mhm,
sometimes for myself, I have to take a moment just to sit. You can sit in mindfulness, just sit
mhm,
by yourself for a few minutes, before you get out of the car. And I used to do this. Sometimes I still do it. I sit in the car. If I'm coming home or going to work or going somewhere, I'll sit in the car for a few minutes before I
mhm,
get out,
mhm. Yeah.
listening to music, you know,
Mhm.
listening to a podcast like the 50s Chick
Yes.
for motivation and inspiration,
Mhm,
doing all those things. Something that I haven't really put a lot of effort into, but gratitude, being thankful. I mean, I think we do that just in an organic way sometimes, just, but to make a special effort to be grateful for, you know, certain things, especially with the online dating, the OLD,
mhm,
being grateful that you had the opportunity to meet someone, even if they were not your pick.
mhm.
I met a lot of nice people,
Yeah.
that
Mhm,
even though they weren't my pick for partners, they were
mhm,
nice,
mhm,
and I got to have a nice evening. So
mhm,
just be grateful for that.
mhm,
But just little, like I said, little things. It don't have to be anything grand, but doing this OLD with intention will make for better outcomes for you and your mental health.
mhm. Yes.
you know, if you got to look at
Mhm,
your calendar and say, on this day and this hour, I'm going to do this,
mhm,
take a walk, whatever. I work out at the gym. I like
mhm,
to listen to music, blast it,
mhm.
sometimes. But yeah, just talking with friends. And Annalie will co-sign this.
I
If
will.
you've done that, yes. If we did this together,
Mhm.
imagine doing it by yourself.
Nope.
Mm-mm,
Nope.
mm-mm,
Nope.
nope.
And let's also realize that most people our age that are doing online dating are kind of traumatized because we're all coming from, well, the majority coming from
Right.
divorcing somebody that you've been with for 20,
Years.
30
Yeah.
years. So it's a big transition, it's a huge thing. So they're coming from divorce, coming from maybe a spouse that died, or any of those things, and they're traumatic events.
Yeah.
So that's almost where every single one of us are starting out from.
Yes.
so so it is going to be, it's not always going to be the best, but we have to try to make it the best that we can, right?
Right. With less, I'm saying minimizing. You're not
Hmm.
gonna. I mean, there's no way to get
It's not
around.
going to be painless, it's
Yeah,
not.
there's no way.
Mm-mm.
But just to minimize it, and
Hmm.
coming from divorce or a deceased spouse, obviously, you can even seek professional help to manage some of those in the beginning. But if you're,
Hmm.
but I know everyone does not have the resources to be able to do that. Well, not
Right.
always. So just do something that can help you to manage it, because it's only what I don't like to see or hear men telling me that, oh, I met this woman and she was crazy, or she did this and
Mm.
I'm always incensed when I hear that, because I know the road that took that woman where she was. And it probably had to do with him.
Yes.
And I hate that. And I want all of us women to, specifically this age group, because we have unique needs,
Hmm.
but for the most part, all women, but
Hmm.
specifically our age group,
Yes.
to be supportive of each other, and be cognizant that, we're all dealing and struggling with something. But I
Yeah.
think, we each have a responsibility to ourselves to try to manage some of that, so that it
And
doesn't.
you're so right about, if we hadn't been going through this together, it would have been something
Oh God, we
else
would have been one of the crazy
all
ones that
to
they were talking
oh
about.
yeah, that definitely, yes. So uh, that's why we're trying to create this community of people to support women that maybe face this on their own, because let's face it, you might be a woman in your 50s, and you know you get divorced, and none of your friends
Yeah,
are getting divorced, and you're all kind of by yourself all of a sudden.
yeah,
And that's really a difficult spot to be in. We should have support groups
yeah.
for this, like
Well,
just
that's
like
what we're trying
just
to
like
do.
yeah, just like Alcoholics Anonymous or Narcotics Anonymous. This thing is this thing
Yeah,
is real too.
it is. It is. And it comes with a whole lot of things that are not so good for us. Like we have gotten older. Like, I know for me, in my marriage, I was married for over 20 years, and I was in my 30s, my late 20s, early 30s.
Hmm.
And then it's like, is it Cinderella that went to uh, prick the finger and went to sleep? Who was Sleeping Beauty?
No, Sleeping
Like,
yes.
Beauty sleeping for all those years, and if she woke up and she was older, and now
Hmm.
she's had to go out into the world and function looking different, and having different expectations of her, it's
Hmm.
almost like the same thing. We're going back out into the dating scene after all
Hmm.
those years. Within our minds, I know for me, I thought I was still that
Hmm.
same little
Oh
young little girl, and
yeah.
I got a rude awakening,
Yes.
and things are nowhere near the same. We are different physiologically. And
Yes.
that's, and we know that we're not the desired, we're not the preference overall,
Hmm. That's right.
So we have to deal with that. So there's a lot of things that we have to deal with, that
Yeah.
we need to come together, and, you know, and in support of one another. And that's why Annalie and I are doing this,
Hmm.
so that we can be able to do that and
Yeah.
get
Yeah.
through these mean streets. We got to put our Kevlar on
Yep.
and our helmet.
Yes.
We can lob
So
grenades too. I'm about matching energy.
yeah, and I mean, if you guys are one of those people, reach out to us and
Yeah,
write something.
yeah.
Join our Reddit for women over 50 dating. Join that conversation. That could be a self-help thing too, because
Oh yes, seeking
it's
support from others. That is a
yeah,
Yeah, and
yeah.
our Facebook group we're trying to build.
Mm-hmm.
You
Yeah.
know, and we're hoping to have events, in our area
Mm-hmm.
and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
So that we can cheer us on. We can
Yes.
be our cheerleaders.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, so that's kind of where we are, but definitely
Mm-hmm.
the self-care. And I think we're going to try to incorporate another series, maybe a self-care series.
Mm-hmm.
We'll concentrate on one self-care, you know, modality maybe, or something like that, something self-care. Maybe a
Yeah.
self-care Sunday or self-care Saturday or something like that, to
Mm-hmm.
deal with our physical and mental health.
Yeah.
so that we can
Yeah.
work together to get through
Mhm.
it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, thank you
So,
guys for tuning in. And we hope that you're keeping your head high going out on those
yes,
mean
thank
streets.
you.
Yes, I'm doing it so I can not have my
Oh,
undercarriage show. But yeah. So thanks for tuning in. Join us again in all of our Spotify podcasts on Facebook, Twitter, uh, um,
um,
Instagram,
um,
YouTube.
YouTube, yes.
Yes. Yes.
Yes, YouTube.
And you can also give us some pointers of what you guys want to hear
Yes,
about,
suggestions.
what we should talk
Popular.
about.
Yeah, what you'd like to see us talk about.
Hmm.
'Cause we'll do what you guys would like.
Yeah. And remember to live
Laugh.
and connect.
Eh.
Oh, yay. Till next time. Bye bye, everyone.
Bye.